Welcome to this episode of Roses and Weeds. I'm your host, Payton Weidman, and my co-host is Sage Sowels.
And today we're going to be getting to know a very special guest. Hello, we have our newly elected Councilmember, Carleen Dark-Bays. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you, ladies?
We are doing good.
Great. We're so happy to have you here with us.
Thank you.
And to talk about your role representing District 6 and to dive into who you are. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Carleen.
Well, my name is Carleen, and I love Tyler. I was born and raised in Tyler with a few years of a hiatus away, but I've been back for quite some time now, and I'm excited to be serving in this new role to see what I can do to help continue to make Tyler amazing.
Yeah, so we want to get to know you as you're stepping into the city council for the first time. It's been about a month, a little longer since you were sworn in. Tell us, how has this first month gone?
You know, it's been a lot of fun. Obviously, there's so much to learn and people to meet, but it's been a lot of fun. I served on the Planning and Zoning Commission for a couple of years before, which I think is a wonderful training ground for council. It really helps give you some foundational knowledge and of how things work. So it wasn't as challenging of a transition as I thought it could be, but it's been a lot of fun. I've gotten to meet some people in the district, talk about some various things, and it's just a new way to look at my community. So I'm having a great time so far.
Oh, that's great to hear. So we're so excited to have you too.
Thank you.
So outside of your new role as council, what do you do on a day-to-day?
That's such an interesting question. It's never the same twice. I retired from a 30-year broadcasting career back in late 22. And so I have been doing a lot of consulting work. There's an online business that's kind of a ministry that I've been working on building out. I also serve on quite a few boards. I do a lot of volunteering. So it's been, and I'm, now the CEO of the household, not having a quote unquote day 8 to 5 job. So that's been a lot of fun. And I have a grandbaby and another one on the way. So there's been a lot of good Nana time with the baby girl. So
I love that.
No day is the same twice.
You've got an exciting year.
It has, yeah. It's a very exciting year.
So you touched a little bit on where you've lived, but give us the background. Where all have you lived?
I was born in Tyler, and when I was 2, my father worked for General Electric, and we moved to Baltimore, Maryland, and then Louisville, Kentucky, but I was back here in 2nd grade. So since 2nd grade, I've been in Tyler until 2000. I was recruited for a broadcasting job in Fresno, California. So I moved to Fresno in January of 2000. And then after being in Fresno for several years, I got a job offer in Sacramento. So bigger market, new challenges. So I took that. And then in 2010, I was offered a job to come back to Tyler and be the director of sales for the broadcaster that I started my career in back in 1994. And so my daughter was in college in Orange County. So we were way far away. I was in the north end of the state. She was in the south end of the state. And we both knew we wanted to get back to Texas. And I thought that would be Dallas. But when Town Square Media called and said, we need you to come home to Tyler, my daughter was excited. She goes, great, because I want to come home after college. So I moved back in late 2010, and I've been back ever since. So I've been back home now longer than I was gone. I was gone for 11 years. And my daughter came home a year later, and so that's where else I've been.
Oh, that kind of sounds like the stars just aligned for both of you.
Yes, seriously. Yes, we needed to get back home. We were the only prodigals living abroad, so we now the whole family's back home.
It's time to get back to Texas.
Yes.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting leaving Tyler and come back. We joke about whenever you leave, you're going to come back. So it happens. I left and I was like, I'll probably live in Dallas or a different city closer to where I went to school. And nope, I'm back. I plan on being here.
I jokingly call Tyler Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave.
That's a good way to
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And most people, as I did, said, "Oh, I'll never move back to Tyler," because in my mind, I was a bigger city girl. Now, Sacramento, it's a network of freeways. There's a lot happening. Access, amount of restaurants, the shopping. I could drive to Napa in an hour and 15 minutes from my driveway to one of my favorite wineries in Napa. So I was like, why would I ever leave this? I don't know if Tyler's big enough for me now. But I've been so pleasantly surprised. Very, very quickly, I realized, gosh, there's so much to love about Tyler. I forgot how much I didn't really know how much I loved Tyler until I was away. And I loved where I lived, but I have really, really enjoyed being back home. And I think that's part of what has inspired me for public service, because I learned some things, good things and bad things about other markets, and then how we can make Tyler just the best we can. So for me, that's been fun.
There's just something about Tyler's community, too, that I hear a lot of people mention as a big draw for why they've moved back or why they've chosen to leave their home state and come to Tyler in the past few years. What would you say about our community?
You know, what I love, one of the things that I've really loved a lot since moving back home is how many people are transplanted here. It felt like, because I went to school here, it felt like in the 90s, and I know there's always been newcomers, but it felt like everybody that was here was born and raised here. And when I moved home 11 years later, it's like, wow, there's a lot of new people that didn't go to school here. And they've brought, one of the things I cherish about my 11 years away is the relationships and the experiences that I was lucky enough to have that I wouldn't have had here. Just being exposed to other cultures of food and people that I didn't necessarily see here in Tyler at the time. And so I love how it's a little bit more of a melting pot. It's more culturally diverse than it was when I left it, which I think is amazing. I think people are beautiful and wonderful, and I've loved that about being back. And I think Tyler it's growing.
Yes,
it's preserving what has always made it special while growing and adding to that all at the same time. It's an interesting thing to watch, because I don't think every community does that. I think we're special. And I've also found that almost anywhere I've gone, I meet somebody who has a connection to Tyler, Texas. And you don't know, you don't think with a town as small as we are, that would be the case, but it's really true. It's kind of fun. We're like Kevin Bacon.
Yes,
there's a few degrees.
You're exactly right.
Yes,
I was in West Texas a couple years ago and met somebody from Tyler, or not from Tyler, but who had lived here for a period of time. Yeah. And I was just like, I recognize you. Didn't you live in Tyler back in 2014? And they were like, I did. How did you know that? I was like, I did not live in Tyler, but my friends did. And I'm pretty sure you were friends with my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's just such a small world at times, but
it is. And that's cool. I love that.
Yes, I love that about Tyler personally.
Yeah, me too. It's like, I'd like to say now, it's like we're getting the best of both worlds. It's grown so much in the last 10 years. Like, left for school, came back, and I'm like, I noticed there are more people here. There's more cars on the road. We have more businesses. And it's really expanded. But like you were saying, we still have that special kind of hometown feel, but without losing our charm. We're still growing. So I think it's so special and fun.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, you were talking about being a Nana, and you're expecting your second grandchild. So tell us a little bit more about your family and what it's like.
So my husband Brad and I have been married. We got married in 22. I was single for very, very many years, and so I brought into this a daughter who has given us our first grandbaby. She's Hillary. She's, shout out, she's precious and the best thing I've ever done, hands down, is my daughter. And then Brad had two sons. So I have two bonus sons, Britt and Brooks, and we've got all three of them are married now. My daughter and son-in-law gave us our first grandbaby, and then our youngest, Brooks, and his wife, Caitlin, are about to give us our second grandbaby this December.
That's so
December just keeps getting more expensive because my daughter's birthday is December, my mom's birthday is in December, first grandbaby's birthday is in December, and the second grandbaby's birthday is also going to be in December. So,
and then you just had Christmas on top of it.
I was about to say, right?
Yeah, December just keeps getting more expensive, but that's okay.
Like,
that comes with a lot of blessings, so we will take it.
Yes.
We're going to continue our discussion with our new council member for District 6, Carleen Dark-Bays, right after we take a quick break.
Looking for a day of adventure? Start the journey at Tyler Pounds Regional Airport. Grab a bite at the Sky is the Limit Dining. Step back in time at the Historic Aviation Memorial Museum. Turn your dream into reality and learn to fly at Tyler Pounds Airport. Fly in style with the Jet Center of Tyler. Tyler Pounds, where adventure takes off.
We're back. Thanks for sticking around. So now we're going to talk to Councilmember Dark-Bays, and we want to know a little bit more about your actual role in council, what you're looking forward to, and to start off, what are you passionate about?
Wow. So a lot of things. But as it pertains to council, I think I'm passionate about Tyler. And I know that sounds like a kind of a cliched answer, but it's really true. I love Tyler. I'm so grateful for it, having lived other places that were also wonderful. My predecessor, I thought was very strong and integrous and level-headed council person. And you want to carry on that legacy and you want to help continue the things that are going well and to help add some new perspectives into things. And one of the things that I'm very passionate about is events, specifically music and music events. Also, all kinds of events. I have a huge background from California. I learned how to do a lot of events, but one of the things that I was fortunate enough to be a part of was the team that built Red Dirt Barbecue. And then I took it over as I started out being in charge of one part of it, but because I had done so many large scale festivals and worked on that team in California, I was able to bring some of that knowledge and really help build out the festival. And then I took it over in, I forget what year, that I was in charge of the whole thing from then on. And I see what something like that does. There's so many benefits to it.
Yes.
Having something that the community can call its own and have as an event, it gets everybody out. It brings in tourism. It offers a chance for people to experience a part of town or an experience that they couldn't get somewhere else. There's just, I could go on and on about why it's so wonderful and special, but I do believe there is a much greater appetite for entertainment and music. And I've been a part of the music-friendly advisory board that was formed when Tyler got, in order for Tyler to be able to get the designation as an official music-friendly city. And so the people who know me know I'm very passionate about music and live music and are taking care of our local artists, but also having events and venues and places and things that people can do. And so I'm also very passionate about downtown, even though it's not in my district. I've served on the Heart of Tyler board for 12 years. I think I had to have 1 year off of the board for compliance, but I was still serving on a committee. And so that is one of the things that as a council person, I hope to be able to help the city figure out how can we take the city to the next level for entertainment, because A, the tourism revenue that it will bring, B, adding quality of life for people who live here. You know, there's a lot of benefit to something like that, and there's a definite financial benefit, but the key is doing it right. And so because I have a background of how to bring a whole lot of people together, what needs to be done, how it should run, who should run them, all those things, I hope that my voice will lend to Tyler being able to do something like that will do it right for Tyler, for many reasons, for the jobs, for the economic impact, and so people don't feel like they have to drive to Dallas every time they want to go to a concert, or you know, my goal is for people to never have to hear, gosh, there's nothing to do in this town.
Right.
That's a goal, is to not hear that anymore.
Honestly, I think that's a great goal, because like you were saying, driving wherever, I'll drive across the state for a good concert. I mean, I know we have great local music here. We've got music everywhere, but I'm like, if I see it, I'm like, I don't care where it is, I'm going to go. So it'd be nice if we had that. And then you were talking about the music friendly advisory board. That's where we met. And I had no idea you ran Red Dirt. That's awesome. You did great job.
I left
with
it
that.
to the next generation, and they're doing a wonderful job with it. I jokingly tell everybody I'm the because people say, "Are you still affiliated with?" I'm like, "Well, I'm Red Dirt's grandma. I'm Red Dirt's nonna." You know, it does not live under my roof anymore because I retired. I am there for them. Anything they ask me for, I do. I still help volunteer. My husband and I put a team of people together that helps finish up that Saturday morning setup every year. Oh, nice. If they ask me for anything, of course, just like your nana, you're there for it, but I don't give it unsolicited advice, and it's its own thing now. Yes. So
I also want to kind of go back to what you had said about the tourism funds and how much they can benefit our community. I think that's a great point that people often forget about. We were able to build our brand new WT Berkshire Conference Center thanks to tourism funding and people staying in our hotels. And so, yes, entertainment can be a great way for us to bring in more funding for things, and people may not always think about that or even know.
Right. They don't. Sometimes people will complain, we don't want more tourists here because the traffic is bad enough. Well, first of all,
Yes.
traffic means the good things are happening. Traffic is a good problem to have. Now, does the city still want to run to that ball and try to help it run more efficiently? Absolutely.
Right.
But when you have people that come into the market, people come into the market for a myriad of reasons, for healthcare, for a lot of their shopping and things like that. And then they turn around and leave. Well, they spent a little bit of money here, and that's great, but they were driving on our roads, they were adding to the potholes, they were adding to the traffic, but they're not paying property taxes into Tyler. And I wish that people could understand that property taxes are not just, hey, the government's taking your money based on your house. That's our community operations fund.
Right.
And so through our sales tax and through tourism opportunities, and maybe instead of coming in and going to Sam's and going out to the village at Cumberland Park and doing some shopping and going home, they get a hotel room because they're going to see a concert. So they're going to eat out again for dinner.
Right.
And then they're going to get up in the morning and they're going to eat breakfast. And then they're going to put gas in their car. And all those touch points, that is revenue coming into the city to help us pay for these things so that the burden is not all on the residents.
Yes.
Because the tourism does add to the need for community upkeep, we want to capture as many of their dollars as possible so that it helps, basically it helps our residents, helps us pay our bills.
Yes.
And that's how we keep property taxes where we have them,
Great way to
without
put
having to say, hey, we need more from you guys, because
Right.
nobody wants to hear that.
Oh, no.
So
We get it. So let's dive into your actual role on city council. What made you decide to be on council and run for your seat?
Well, actually, Red Dirt has a part of that as well. I try not to always talk about Red Dirt, but we had won an award from the Texas Downtown Association. And so we were invited, my event director that worked with me and I were invited to attend city council so the city council could make that presentation to us. And I decided to sit in because I thought, what does our city council really do? I was working 60 hours a week. I didn't have time to keep up with
Right.
and I thought it would be neat. So I just sat in on the whole meeting and I was like, oh, that's what they do. And I was really impressed with some of the decisions that were made and the dialogue. And I really had a lot of respect for the people who were seated on council at that time and just the way they engaged the community. And there were some decisions made that somebody was asking for money. And anyway, I won't make that a long story, but I thought, someday when I'm not working 60 hours a week anymore, I might want to serve Tyler in this way. Because I'm also a firm believer, you cannot complain about things if you are not willing to be part of the solution.
Love that.
And my husband and I, we love to ride our bikes, and we'll do like a 16, 18 mile bike ride all through Tyler. We go through the Azalea District to downtown. We'll take Legacy, Rose Redmond and Southside Park and Legacy Trail all the way out to Gresham and back. So we're always observing things about various issues of Tyler and talking about, if I were in charge, I would do that or this. And so I thought, as much of that as we do, maybe I should consider actually doing it. And so my husband actually encouraged me to, we were at an event and I had mentioned to someone, I wonder if Brad Curtis has someone on his bench that he'd like to raise up, because if not, I might consider running for the council. And my husband's like, you should totally do it. You should totally do it. So I reached out to Brad Curtis and said, hey, do you have a bench? And I talked to a couple people that recommended, hey, try a city board first. And I had sat on the Main Street board. It's inaugural year because I was Heart of Tyler president and we had those two board seats. And so I had sat on that board, but then I had to roll off for the next president. And so I put in an application for planning and zoning, and I did what somebody with a sales background does. I picked up the phone and called all the seated council members and anyone that would meet me for coffee. I made my pitch and said, I'd really like to do this and I would love your support. So I was fortunate enough to be chosen to sit on planning and zoning. And so that kind of solidified. I thought, this will help me see, is this something I really do or do not want to do? And I loved it. So yeah, it was born from sitting in on a meeting and then saying, you know what? These people are really serving the people of Tyler, and I would love to be a part of that someday. So
Oh, I love to hear how
know.
that got you to here today.
yeah.
Now let's narrow the scope a little bit and really dive into District 6. First, can you kind of explain for maybe those that aren't aware the boundaries of where District 6 is?
Yes, it's the best district. No, really, they're all great.
No, but that's what you
Tyler's
should
is
say.
lovely. But yes, I do have a little
You
neighborhood
represent
pride.
them.
Gotta love your
Yes,
district.
yes, you've got to rep District 6,
That's
or who else
right.
will?
Exactly. And so my district, District 6, the northern border is 5th Street. And for all intents and purposes, it's from South Broadway to Biloxi, all the way to the south of town. So how that operates before Biloxi starts is from Broadway to Beckham. And then as Beckham curves around and becomes Troop Highway, and then it hits Greenacre Shopping Center, that's where Biloxi kind of begins. You would say so. It kind of zips over, and then from the rest all the way down to the southernmost city limits on the south side of Loop 49. On the west side, it's Broadway is my western border, except for one little call out of commercial property from Grande to Cumberland. So the Walmart, the Target, there's one neighborhood inside of that window off of Cumberland. But so I have that little section. So it's like a pie wedge.
I was going to say, yeah, the way you described it, I could visualize.
Oh,
it.
good.
So hopefully
Yay.
others can
Yay.
as well. And for those that may not know, Pollard Park is over there as well.
Yes.
So-
And that's my neighborhood.
I
So
was
we
about to
live
say, I know Pollard
just
Park.
south of Pollard Park.
Okay,
Yes,
nice.
it's a beloved park for those that live around it.
It's lovely. I love all of our parks. I feel like I have the two best parks in town, because between Pollard Park and then the Rose Redmond and South Side, in my brain those are really one because of the continuity, but I know it's
Yes.
two. So I have all three of those parks and the Rose Redmond trails, and so I just love my district.
Yeah,
And it's
definitely.
beautiful, and we have mature trees and historic neighborhoods and just great people. And it seems to be a very engaged group of Tylerites.
No, I agree. And I think in District 6, you've got a little bit of everything.
You do.
There's so much. When you were explaining your area, I'm just thinking, I'm like, okay, we got this, all different types of businesses, neighborhoods. And it's just really interesting how our town is divided. But within that, with all those different things that do make up your district, what do you feel like the biggest challenge is?
The biggest challenge, well, gosh, 2 years ago when we had the summer storms, I would tell you trees were our
Yes.
biggest challenge. But and
Understandable.
Encore has done a beautiful job of going and cleaning up and trimming trees and getting that situation somewhat under control. I think, gosh, I hear that people want to get into the neighborhood to get their kids in Andy Woods Elementary, and there's not enough inventory. People can't get in. So, but I don't see challenges or barriers that aren't kind of being addressed. I know we're widening Biloxi, which is my eastern border. I just think there's so much opportunity in our district. And we have great restaurants all along the Broadway corridor.
yeah.
I have Torchy's, so
Yes.
shout out to Torchy's. I have some great restaurants. I need Mundo and Carlos and Lance to put restaurants in my district now.
Right.
Next. It's like, all
If
right,
y'all
guys.
are listening,
That's right.
you've heard her.
That's a sign.
That's right.
Is there anything else you would like to maybe see added to District 6? Is there anything you think y'all are missing over there?
Well, a project I've been secretly working on is trying to help see how we can find an amazing tenant for the old Big Lots space
Yes.
in the French Quarter. And I've been trying to make a whole bunch of phone calls, and so far not anything that there's movement on that we're excited about yet. And I know a council person can only go so far. It's not like I can
Right.
tell
Yeah.
someone they have to come to Tyler and
Right.
open up shop here. But it's such a prime, perfect location for
is.
a few different companies. And so I'm trying to do some outreach and see if I can't help.
Oh, I love that.
Figure
'Cause,
something
that
out.
would be great to have a new business come in and just kind of refresh the shopping center.
Yes. And give it a
Seriously.
really good anchor.
Yes.
To help
Yes.
all of the other local businesses that are in there, because you've got Jarrett and Superior on this end that do bring a lot of traffic, and so now if we can anchor that other end with, then everybody in the center does better.
Exactly.
And small business is another thing I'm passionate about. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's that.
That's a really good way to put it, though, because I know whenever I go into a shopping center, I'm like, oh, I'm only here for this store. But that one's right there. I can just walk to it. I'll just park in between them. And all of a sudden, I'm at the very end at Ulta, and then I have to walk back to PetSmart. Like, that's what I do. I'm like,
Yep.
well, might as well stop at Marshall's, too, and Best Buy. Like,
Exactly.
lots of fun stuff.
exactly.
So that's a really good
And
point.
we need people to get in there to see some of the great businesses that are in there that they may not even realize
Yeah,
are in there.
absolutely.
Sweet Gourmet is one of my favorites.
Yes.
There's so many really cool businesses in that center.
So, Carleen, tell us, what is the best part of being a Tylerite?
I think there's a community that feels a little bit like family. And one thing I've heard a lot lately from newcomers that come in is how friendly people are here and how they don't have that same experience in other markets. And people who have come in here with a job and think, man, how am I going to break in? And Tyler isn't one of those closed off communities where it's like, when I first moved to California, I was kind of told, you got to do your time, you got to work your way up. You know, Tyler is like, welcome. If you want to plug in, we would love to plug you in. And it's friendly. When I moved to California, one of the things people would say, oh, you're from Texas. We love Texas. The people are so friendly when we go there. And I would tell them, you know, we too could have that here if we would just pay it forward once you experience it. I had the most bizarre experience my first week there. I was driving down a very busy street and I was coming up on a red light, so I was going to have to stop, and there was this little row of businesses, and I could see from afar this person had been waiting forever to get out of the driveway. So I stopped and left a gap and was waving them in. You know, here people would go, thanks, and they'd go out.
Yeah.
This person sat there and just stared at me funny.
What is she?
And I was like,
It's like,
and they did this, they went, and I was like, well,
oh no.
I was
I
trying,
didn't know what you even meant.
okay, I guess we don't do that here.
Right.
I just like tootled on my merry way. So it's kind of, it's interesting that
Yes.
we get so accustomed to how friendly and welcoming and that people will wave you into traffic.
Right.
And
Right.
if you need to change lanes and you put your signal on, somebody's going to let you over.
Right.
They don't do that so much in Dallas. It's
Right.
it's like the Autobahn. You got to just see your window and accept that you might get a ding here and just slam on the
Yeah.
accelerator. But I think I try not to take that for granted, and I try to always pay it forward. And I that's one of my favorite things about Tyler is the kindness that you see and the friendliness, and we still have good Southern manners here, and I just love it. And I love how the people that move here seem to assimilate into that instead of us kind of letting that go. I think that's a special part of Tyler.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we have something fun for you.
It's time for our last segment of this episode of Roses and Weeds, and we're going to end things with, as Sage mentioned, a bit of fun. We're going to ask some rapid fire, and for those of you not watching but listening to this, that's in quotation marks, rapid fire, quotation marks, questions, because we want to continue getting to know Carleen better.
Yes.
Mercy.
Okay, so the first question, what can you not leave the house without?
A Diet Coke.
Love it.
And the second answer would be a notebook, because I take notes.
Okay,
I take copious notes everywhere I go,
nice.
and I keep them all.
Okay, nice. I
like
thought the
that.
second thing might be a cell phone, but
Oh, I would love to leave my cell phone at home.
same.
I
feel
would
that.
so love it if I could actually do that. And
Yeah.
sometimes you do, and you're like, oh, darn.
Oops. Where could I
Hate
have
when
left
happens,
that?
right? Exactly.
Yes, yes. Okay, so let's dive into the second one. It's only July, but around here, most people go ahead and start thinking about Christmas early. What is your favorite Christmas tradition?
My favorite Christmas tradition, there is a movie called Love Actually. It's very quirky British humor. To me, it is not the Christmas season until I've watched that movie. And my tradition has been I get all the decorations, put up the tree, the house, everything, get the glitter all vacuumed up, sit down and watch Love Actually, and then I feel like it's Christmas.
Nice.
And then, of course, all the family stuff on Christmas Day. But that, to me, that's what, and for my sister, it's not Christmas until she's watched Die Hard. For me, it's not Christmas until I've watched Love Actually.
I was going to say, that's so funny. You got that in your family. The debate is Die Hard a Christmas movie, or are we watching the actual Christmas movies? I bet then.
Yeah. I am in camp Christmas movie, but it's just not my quintessential Christmas movie. It's important, but
There we go. And you heard it here. You heard it here, folks.
in District 6, it's a Christmas movie.
That's right. That's right.
I love it. So, what do you do to relax?
Cook and drink a
Really?
little wine.
Nice.
I'm a wine nerd, and I've gotten my husband on board with that as well. But I love to cook. Cooking relaxes me. I love to cook for people. I've always said I should have been Italian. I identify as Italian. We get to do that now, right? Because I'm loud. I talk with my hands, and I love people with food. So
I think
Nice.
those of us that grew up with Jersey Shore would agree with you. We get to choose to be Italian now.
yeah.
But no, I did want to ask,
choose
so
it.
what is your favorite dish to cook? And what is your favorite
yeah.
wine?
Oh, that's like asking me to choose between children. Pastas. Really, I love to cook anything. And I started out more as a baker, but then the older you get and you realize that you can't continue to bake and eat sweets every day and all that sugar is not so great for your system, I transitioned into more deep dive into cooking and all kinds of cooking. And so really, I actually prefer that to baking. Now, I would say probably for me, the most fun thing that I get to make is risotto, because it's a process and you babysit it and you just love it into being this creamy, cheesy, wonderful thing. So that's probably my favorite thing to cook, but I have a million things I love to cook. Favorite wine, that's even harder to drill down on. My typical go-to is a big Napa Cabernet Sauvignon, but I love the Italian varietals. I love sparkling. I love Malbecs. I'm more of a red wine girl than a white wine girl, but I've actually studied. I've gotten certification as level 2 sommelier. I'm not a working sommelier, but I'm educated. I could be one if I was working.
That's
And
So
so
fun.
I've tasted, and living in California, so close to the wine country for years, that's where my passion for wine was ignited. And really food and the relationship between food and wine to me is so fascinating, which is why I wanted to do all the training. I wanted to learn more about that and what the chemistry is there. And so I cannot pick a favorite winery, and sometimes it varies year to year, but a big Napa Cab is probably my favorite. My second favorite would probably be a Super Tuscan blend from Italy, from Tuscany.
You've mentioned that you're super involved and you bike, and you said 16 to 18 miles. I was just actually blown away, so I aspire. But with you being so active, are you an early bird or a night owl?
I was born a night owl, very nocturnal. I could stay up all night, sleep all day. The older I get, and there's a certain period of time in a woman's life where your body changes and sleep is affected. And plus years and years of getting up early to go to work. Now I can't really sleep late if I want to, but I don't love it. I don't move quickly in the morning. I could still stay up really late, but then I'll still wake up earlier than I want to. So, but by nature, I'm much more of a night owl.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah.
I like that.
And so after staying up all night, or after a long bike ride, or after a fabulous dinner with some wine, what do you do to relax?
To relax? Gosh, who doesn't love a good bubble bath? I used to have a jacuzzi, and almost every night I would get in it. Almost every night,
sounds
because
nice.
it's so relaxing. So, and sometimes just kicking back and watching TV with the hubs.
Yeah.
With a dog in my lap is also very relaxing. We have
say
4
yes.
dogs. We had 5 when we first got married. We've lost one since, but we have 3 big ones and one that's 9 pounds. So if we're home, he's usually in my lap, a little ball of fur.
We have to know the names and the breeds.
Yes.
Okay, so my little one that I was talking about, his name is Slash, after Guns N' Roses. His brother was Axel. I had an Axel and a Slash, and their names fit their personalities
love
very much.
that.
The blonde was kind of crazy, like Axl Rose, and Slash is just the coolest little dog. He is a Boston Terrier Chihuahua mix. So
fun.
he's not as yippy as a typical Chihuahua. He's got a little more of that Boston Terrier swagger. But there's
Yeah.
definitely some Chihuahua in there as well. And he's 14, 15 years old. So he's
wow.
getting gray and distinguished now.
I bet he enjoys those cuddles on the couch.
He does. He's very much a cuddler. Drives my husband crazy because he's never been a dog in the bed kind of a person.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, because he doesn't want the dog to cuddle with him, the dog is trying to win him
I was
over
about to
and
say,
insists on, well, I'm
Right.
going to
It just makes it
snuggle up
worse.
with Brad
That's
because
sweet.
I'm going to win him over.
Yes.
I think it's
It's
what
like,
the dog
look, this is
thinking.
great.
Yeah, exactly. And so our other three, we have Bear, who's, I want to say he's around 130 pounds, and
Oh my
he's
gosh.
like
Big dog.
a Mastiff, Lab, and Great Pyrenees
Oh my gosh.
blend.
I was wondering.
And he's
if
just
you
a
were
big
gonna say
love bug.
As I say, with those breeds, it sounds like it.
And he
Yes.
looks like a bear. He's glorious. And then we have two blue leopard Catahoulas, Bo and Belle.
fun.
How hyper are
They're
those
beautiful.
two?
Bo, well, they were a rescue. My husband rescued them from a place in Missouri that used to breed Catahoulas, and then they decided there was more money in goats, so they just kind of put these dogs. It was really awful. They were in cages. Their nails were really long. They were emaciated. Like Bo, I just had them at the vet yesterday. Bo weighed 91 pounds yesterday. I think he was like 50 something pounds when Brad adopted him. He was just skin and bones. And Belle, who's like 52 pounds, I think she was like 35 pounds when he brought them home. So they were feral at first because they hadn't had a lot of human interaction, but now they have completely assimilated with the pack, and they're just cuddly, just loves. And so,
good.
yeah, they're great. We have a literal pack of four.
love that.
The maximum allowable in the city limits. We
Right.
are in
You're at
compliance.
That's right.
No more
You're at the
animals.
max.
And yes.
That's fun. I absolutely love dogs. They're just so fun and sweet.
too.
I've had mine for like 6 years at this point, so he's starting to get a little gray, but still lots of energy.
Oh yeah, good.
Yes, but you said we were mentioning your district and how it's set up. So along Broadway, we've got lots of restaurants. But what's your favorite restaurant in Tyler?
Gosh, I don't know if I could pick a favorite. We have so many great ones. Mundo and Carlos are just local treasures. I love every one of their restaurants. I love Via Montez. I love 1836. Love the taco truck. Lance with Heritage East at Culture ETX. It's such a mouthful. I still want to call it Culture. We do brunch there most every Sunday right after church. We go to church at at Bethel downtown and just
nice.
walk over, and it's
Yeah.
the most stunning brunch you're ever going to have. Gosh, we love Bernard's. And every time we go to Bernard's, we're like, we have to come here more often. All of Scott Williams' restaurants are great. We love Three Palms. We love 12.
Yes.
We love Villaggio. Gosh, I love Torchy's.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I cook most nights. We don't eat out as often as you would think, but we hit them all. And sometimes when we can't decide, I took a glass beaker and I got a bunch of popsicle sticks and I wrote all of our restaurants on a
that's so
popsicle stick. And so when we can't decide, we just like draw popsicle sticks.
Yay.
And where are we
Nice.
gonna go? Yeah.
Okay.
So we have, for a town our size, we have a lot of great
do
have
dining.
great
And if there's
food.
somebody I left off that list, I'm so sorry. But there are just so many wonderful restaurants.
Oh yeah, we've got lots of good stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always
Prime
hard to
102, oh my
decide.
gosh.
Yes.
And
Oh,
Don
yeah.
Juan, hello.
Oh, right.
Exactly.
And
Our
Ruby's.
drive.
Ruby's.
Yes.
Yes.
Another crowning gem in my district is, since we have one at Amherst and Broadway,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we have a Ruby's in my district. And usually Saturday mornings are Ruby's and Sunday mornings are Heritage East
Oh,
for
yeah.
our brunchy
Fun
thing.
weekend.
Yeah.
I'm like noted, taking notes. Now I
Right.
have some new brunch spots.
Yes. If you have not been to Lance's brunch, it's brilliant. It's really brilliant. There's not a bad thing.
it.
And my husband and I went systematically down the menu. We've ordered every single thing on the menu.
Fun.
And then we're like, okay, now we can start repeating. And
Yeah. But you want to
Yeah,
try
so
a little
you're
bit of
truly
everything.
yes,
Cool.
because everything is so good. It's all so good.
Awesome. So we've talked about favorite restaurants. Outside of restaurants, do you have a favorite business in Tyler that you love to just pop in?
Sweet Gourmet is one, just because I love food, and they're all so sweet in there. And I love Brady's Coffee. I love
Brady's
a
Coffee is
local
great.
coffee shop.
Yes.
And Crema, of course, and
Mm-hmm.
and the Foundry.
Crema.
We have to give the
Yes,
Foundry
and
a
the
shout out.
Foundry.
Gosh, and Target. I know that's not local, but I love Target.
I understand.
It's hard not to love
It's hard to
Target.
not get everything when you go in. So I get it.
I love it.
I was gonna say, I think as women we can all agree.
Yeah.
It's like Target's one of those stores that they just get us.
Yeah.
I'll actually go
sometimes-
down almost every aisle there.
Yeah, I do too. If you need a sanity break, you make a Target run.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're always going to find some hidden gem in there. Kind of like Costco was when I had Costco in California. You're always going to find some hidden gem if you wander all the aisles.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I feel that way about Target.
So you've traveled and you've lived out of Texas and come back, but what's one item that's on your bucket list?
Italy.
Ooh.
Italy. I've wanted to go as long as I can remember, and we are trying to put a trip together for next year. So, knock on wood,
Okay,
Italy
awesome.
will happen in 2027.
Right.
Yes.
Love that.
That's my goal.
Very
Hashtag
exciting.
goals.
I
Yeah.
was to say, is there anything specific you would like to do in Italy? Like maybe drink your favorite wine or
For sure. Eat my way across the boot and visit the wine country and see the architecture and the historical sites. I want to do the whole thing. Lord knows how long we're going to be there. But
so.
Right, just take your time.
yeah, exactly.
We've learned a lot about you, but is there anything that people might be surprised to learn?
Gosh, the people that know me know that I'm the biggest klutz that you've ever met, so that probably wouldn't be surprising. I don't know. I'm kind of
Any
just
hidden
a
talents?
transparent. Oh, I used to get people in trouble at church. I can flare my nostrils really fast, and so I would make people laugh at church.
Oh. There we go.
That's fun.
That's something I wouldn't have
Yes.
expected.
A fun fact that people in Tyler may not know is it's funny. I was invited to do a cooking segment on the Fox Morning Show when I lived in California, and what the angle was because my daughter did not eat. She would not eat leftovers. They just kind of skeeved her out, and so I had gotten really good at trying to find ways to create new food out of leftovers because I hate to waste food. And so it's so hilarious because the producer was like, oh, that's a fun angle. So they had me do like 5 different segments and I did all these different things you can do with leftovers. And on the crawl, I just thought it was hilarious. It didn't say Carleen Dark, home cook. It said Carleen Dark, leftovers expert.
I love that.
I love
That day, I leave the studio.
great.
I have to run to the grocery store. And this lady comes running up to me. She goes, oh my gosh, you're the leftovers expert. I just watched you this morning.
And you're like,
And I was like, well, I guess you got to be known for something.
Yes. And that's,
that's
kind of
fun.
iconic to be
I
known
do like
for.
that.
The
Like, wait,
leftover
she can come up
expert,
with anything.
right?
And I
like
don't
that.
know if anybody else there thought of me, but that lady did. So there you go. So I guess someone somewhere thinks I'm a leftovers expert.
Yes.
No, that's so
That's
fun.
a great story.
Silly, but it was fun. It was really fun to get to do that.
Now we know that you are the leftovers expert. You can turn any dish into something that you can continue to eat and continue to use. So what's something that you can't do but you wish you could?
Sing.
That's a good one.
I wish I could sing. I can carry a tune. I can sing in the choir, but nobody wants me out there doing a solo. I wish I could sing, and I wish I could play the guitar. Because the cool people can do those two things. How
Yeah.
cool are you when you're sitting on a stool
Yeah.
Right.
with a guitar? Yeah, but
It's hard.
Understandable.
but there's still time. Who knows?
There is.
Maybe
There
someday.
But speaking of that, if you had a theme song, what would it be?
There is a song by Mark Broussard called Grateful. I am just grateful. You know, I'm grateful I live in this wonderful city. I have the best husband. I have the best kids. I'm the best grandbaby. I'm very grateful for everything. So that would be,
That's sweet.
yeah, God is
very
good.
sweet.
God is just good.
Yes.
Even through the hard stuff, he's still good.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah, all the time. That's right.
I love that, though. I just have to say it's very important to kind of stop and realize, you know, not think about what we don't have, but what we do, and just really show gratitude for that. So I really
And too,
like
the
that.
hard things that you walk through make you better if you choose. And so I'm grateful for the hard things too. Now, I'm not always grateful in the middle
Right.
of the
Yeah.
hard thing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not that good of a
Right.
person. But
is great.
you can look back and see God's hand with me through my life. And I'm so grateful for all the experiences that I've had, good and bad, because they've made me hopefully more compassionate and kind, and hopefully a little more fun of a person.
You know, we're coming to a close, but I really do want us to end on an impactful note. So what is the best advice that you've ever received?
Gosh, I've gotten so much good advice because Lord knows I've needed it. I think, gosh, why is that so hard? There's so many things sticking out of my brain. And I think to always look for the positive and always be a part of the solution. Always try to be a part of the solution and leave things better than you found them. My parents really
Nice.
drilled that in me, to leave things better than you found them. And so that's been my goal in life,
I
with
love
jobs
that.
and
Yes.
places. And
And hopefully now
Yeah.
is the new
The
District
city.
6 council member.
Yeah.
I know, which will be a tall order because I found it in pretty good shape.
Sounded good.
So hopefully I can still leave it better than I
Oh,
found it.
yeah.
Love that.
That's awesome. And that really does kind of tie into everything that we've talked about in your overall sentiment. It's like you have been impactful and made an impact. So I am personally really excited to see what you do along your time as city council member.
Thank you.
Yes, same.
I'm
Thank
excited
you
too.
so much for being here with us, Carleen.
Oh, my
Yes.
pleasure. It's going to be a fun 6 years.
It is.
Hopefully 6. Everybody
Yes.
keep voting.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Roses and Weeds. Thank you for listening or watching it. Please feel free to share this with your friends, your neighbors, anybody you know that lives in District 6. And we hope to see you or have you listen to us for the next one.
All right. And if you've got ideas, topics, questions for us, please give us an email at publicrelations@tylertexas.com.